Right, good morning everybody and welcome. It is a crazy Saturday morning. We've had multiple load shedding in Johannesburg and also in the Andrews family household anyway. We've had 41 degree temperatures during the night and teething and all sorts of things, but enough time for us to focus on some good racing down at Durbanville today, and what a great pleasure it is. I've mentioned it before and I'll mention it again, to be talking about big fields at Durbanville and competitive racing. Well, there will be a take a bet with Tab, which I've done a jackpot for today. I like a couple of roughies, but I think you've got to play a bit wide. Durbanville always critical as far as the draw is concerned. Some competitive early races, but for those looking to take a pick six, I'm going to begin and take you through my observations from race 3 onwards. It's an 8-race program, and you can have a look at the betting in the third race of the day. Now, what I would suggest is that the opening leg is a special weights maiden. So being the first leg of that exotic, you've got a chance to see where the money goes. You've got to have a good look at horses on the way down to the start, and also factor the special weights maidens conditions into the race for the opening leg of that pick six today. The pools will be good, as we always say, support the tote, and here at our Take a Bet initiative, we're going to do that today with, as I say, the jackpot. And in that second leg where the jackpot starts, the second leg of the pick six, the jackpot will start in that race with race 4. This is where I've decided to go short. We're at a stage of the season, of course, where the 4-year-olds are pretty well in when they go over ground. So if you have a look at the 4th race, the 3-year-olds are 9.5 kilograms out at weight for age terms, and that's why you see that consistently 4-year-olds who've been battling in some respects to shed their maiden, this is their opportunity when they are better off weight for age with some of the younger horses. In that sense, in the 4th race, number 1, Global Movement, is a 4-year-old. Number 2, Destined to Dance, also a 4-year-old, but that's a colt and a filly. The 1 is the colt, the 2 is the filly. But I'm going to look towards the horses that are not well drawn. However, this is 1,800 metres at Durbanville, and I'm hoping that they can negate the draws of 9 and 10 respectively. Those horses being Senora Victoria, who is the filly Louis Mkotwa rides. Remember, she ran second to Meta last time, and Meta's come out and won first time after the maidens, franking that form. So that Master of My Fate filly, number 9, must go in. Run Rudolph Run has been expensive to follow, but as I just finished mentioning, Craig Zaki rides his 4-year-old. Not well drawn, but he is well in weight for age wise, and I think he definitely stays the trip. We will stay the trip, and so he must go in. The only 3-year-old I'm going to put in is number 7, Future Turn, because he is a Futura, Richard Faree and Justin Snaith, and it'll be a bit daft if I didn't put him in and he were to win and I went out the first leg of the jackpot, or the pick six for that matter. So in that race, I'm going in order of preference, number 9, Senora Victoria, number 10, Run Rudolph Run, and number 7, Futura Turn. Let's move on to the next race, which will be race 5, and here this is a middle stakes over 1250. I think the draw here could be significant. This is a 1250 event. Number 1, It's Raining William. Well, he's an interesting horse because he's drawn 1. He's only got 52 on his back, and the form behind him worked out reasonably well, the maiden victory. There's been multiple winners out of some of those form lines, so It's Raining William has to be respected. The horse that catches my eye of 54 kilograms, although he doesn't appear in the best weighted column in the computer form, is actually number 3, Line of Duty, which happens to be a very good BBC series, actually, if you watch Netflix, but that's by the by. Line of Duty is a Pomodoro. I've always liked him. He won 2 of his first 4 starts, but I think with Calvin Habib picking up the ride, I'm not too sure why Louis Mkotwa was not riding. I don't think it's a weight issue. But drawn 3, 54 kilograms, I think the number 3, Line of Duty, is probably some value. I haven't actually looked at the betting for the races. I try not to, because that can sway you. So I have no idea what price number 3, Line of Duty is. But if there's double figure odds available, I might be tickling that up. The race doesn't stop there. Number 5, Voldemort, is well in the conditions of this race, has to go in. 7, Silvano's Dasher, is extremely well bred. He's an interesting horse. he might be a decent price as well. Keegan DeMelo rides as he does for Lady Laidlaw, and there's been one course and distance run, and it was a victory, and he's beautifully bred in the purple is number 7 Silvano's Dasher. So I would put him in, but I'm generally going to go a little bit wider in that race because the bottom weight here is All About Al. It's bottom weight, but the last horse in the card, number 9, but the 9 draw will make life difficult perhaps for All About Al, so I'm going a little bit wider in that 5th race. Let's move on to the 6th race. This is another Punters Challenge Middle Stakes, and again, number 1 is the horse that catches the eye here, a son of Master of My Fate. He was pretty impressive on debut. We know what Weird Jamming has done subsequently. Perhaps a bit of a disappointing run last time behind Dave the King, but with that run under the belt, Smunga Kamalo getting the ride, I think that Street Outlaw will run nicely. So he's definitely on my shortlist. Number 2, All Lit Up. Sure, he's been expensive to follow. He's tumbled down something like 17 merit-rated points. He's going to win sometime soon. JP van der Merwe has a go now. I mean, to be fair, many jockeys have tried and failed to get the second victory on All Lit Up. I mean, Bernard Fade Herb's had a go, Keegan DeMelo's had a go, Gavin Lorena's had a go, Richard Faree's had a go, Craig Zacky's had a go, and Smunga Kamala's had 2 goes. And none of them can get them into the winner's box. JP van der Merwe tries today. He's been very expensive to follow, but he will pop up one day soon because he's just tumbling down the weights. I mean, can't believe he's only carrying 52 kilograms today. Beyond that, though, it's a very open field. In my personal jackpots, and you'll see with the Take a Bet jackpot suggestion, I'm going wide there because you could make a case out for most of the runners. But number 1, Street Outlaw, probably going to be my each-way play in that race. Let's move on to race 7, Pinnacle Stakes race. Well, interesting here because most of the selections, well, the best weighted column is leaning towards African Rain and Resonate, the 2 Candice Bass Robinson horses, and they both got a chance. But for me, I'm actually in the same camp as Brendan Galliard here because on studying, Irish Morning comes out time and time again on top of my handicapping. The only perhaps question mark with Irish Morning is in my mind's eye, I'm not so sure he's a Durbanville horse. So he's never been to Durbanville, so he can't really make a case out to say no. As I say, I'm not sure that Durbanville will suit him, but if it does and he can produce his best, then he's extremely well in here. Keegan DeMelo riding him in just 56 kilograms. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt with regards to the fact that he races at Durbanville for the first time and tip number 7, Irish Morning. The backup has to be the likes of number 8, Resonate. Aldo de Meyer rides. African Rain is an excellent horse, lovely horse, but he's got 62 kilograms to shoulder. And for my roughie in the race, I went and reverted back to horses treated me pretty well in the past, and that's number 4, Ambiorix. Whenever I go for him, he runs nicely, and I'll certainly be going for him today again in the places at the very least. So that last race for me, number 7, Irish Morning, respect for Resonate. Despite the draw of 8 and Ambiorix to run big. But again, if you've got bigger budgets, you could make a case out for a number of horses there. And then on to the last leg of the pick 6, race 8. Well, you're going to be wanting a couple of horses there, I would think. It's a very open contest, a 74 handicap. I spent quite a bit of time studying this, but went round and round the mulberry bush. In the end, and again, I don't know what the prices are, so they might not be as rough as I think, but I thought the value might be number 2, Tazzetti. Justin Snaith's yard, perhaps you could argue a little bit flat by their very high standards during the week, so I'm hoping they bounce back. Because this is trained by Justin, number 2, Tazzetti for Suzette Fillion. I like the booking of Richard Faree, obviously. I like the draw of 2. He's got a lovely pedigree. He's a Silvano. I think now that he's in his 4-year-old career, he can improve, and he would be my each-way play on the 8th race. The other each-way play at a big price might well be number 6, Coup de Main, who benefits from the booking of Aldo de Meyer. He's got 59.5 kilograms to shoulder, so he's got to give 2.5 kilograms to Tazzetti, which is why number 2, Tazzetti, is my play in the race. But you could again make a case out for a number of horses in this race. If you are running into the pick 6 last leg, I would suggest you put a few horses in. It's a competitive day's racing. We've got, as I say, Take a Bet a little bit later on. After I've consulted with the Ghost Rider and a few others, we'll see if we can come up with a soccershop.bet price booster value play. But in the meantime, this is the Clocking the Gallop preview, reminding you to play at the Durbanville, Hollywood Bets Durbanville race meeting today. From Neil and the team, have a good day's racing. Cheers, everyone.